Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to ELFH 312 Designing Learning. I am really excited to be coming to you today to talk about the syllabus. Most important thing, most important document we're going to have in our class together. And I'm going to overview that syllabus. I'm not going to talk about everything that's contained in that syllabus because there's a lot of information. So without further ado, let's jump into the syllabus and kind of take a look at things. All right, so let's dive in here a little bit. So we're talking about our course here, 312 Designing Learning. Up top, you can see a lot of information about my name, my office number, office hours, and location, all that kind of good stuff. I'll tell you, email is by far the quickest way to get a hold of me. So you'll want to do email if you need to get a hold of me really quickly. We also have a graduate assistant this semester. His name is Jake. He's a PhD candidate in the ECPY program. The only thing that you probably will interact with Jake is if he sends out announcements or emails for class, and then he will also do some grading for our class. I do all of the final grading for our class, so Jake makes APA comments and things like that, but you will see his name from time to time throughout our class. There's a lot of other information here: catalog description, course purpose, required readings and text, objectives. I would really encourage you to take some time to go through that. We're not going to cover it here in this webcast because it would just take a really long time to do that. Rather, what I think I want to do is get down into the meat of our syllabus, which is right here, which are the specific requirements for the class. In addition to all the top stuff at the syllabus, before we get into some of the assignments, here's the really one thing that I want you to know. The syllabus builds on each other. So all of the assignments, you will use them, they will build onto one another. If you think about like Lego blocks and you put Lego blocks together, right, and you stack them on top of each other, at the end of that stacking, you have a product. You have a Lego vehicle or a castle or something like that. And our assignment's going to work kind of the same way here. So we're going to have like a needs analysis. It's going to be our first block. Then we'll have some different kind of like task analysis, learner analysis, context analysis. All of those will build on top of one another. And before you know it, at the end of the semester, we're going to have a full product. So let's dive into those unique assignments right now and kind of talk about, all right, what does all of this kind of mean? So that being said, let's talk a little bit about how each of these assignments kind of build on each other, like using the Lego analogy here. So the first thing we're going to do is a needs analysis. And a needs analysis is really about identifying the gap between something called the desired and the current state of performance, right? So what is the desired state? What's the optimum state? And then what is the current state and what's the gap with that? Many of you have taken 311, which talked really in-depthly about a needs analysis. And if you have a project that you're going to pull in, you can use the needs analysis from your 311 class for this assignment right here. You will want to include some real specific things though: an introduction that explains any of the events that precipitated the need for training, a section delineating the desired and current state and the gap and what that is, and then a general purpose for the training along with a rationale for why. So the needs analysis from 311 may need to be modified a little bit to fit with these specific course instructions, but you should be able to pull the majority of your project in. The second Lego block that we're going to be using is the learner and the context analysis. A learner analysis really describes significant characteristics for who the training will be designed for. And the context analysis really describes pertinent characteristics of the setting where the training will most likely occur, as well as the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will be covered in the training. Where will these things kind of be applied? The third is a task analysis and a course outline. If you think about a task analysis like a cookbook, we follow a set of instructions. What are the specific tasks that we need to do to bake this coffee cake? Or if you've ever put furniture together, you followed instructions. The task analysis describes the function that people perform, and you break down topics. But we'll talk a little bit more about this as the course goes on. There are these things called instructional objectives. There's a particular way we're going to use these: a terminal objective and an enabling objective. You've got to use the correct form. I'll go into more detail with that as the class goes on. And then an instructional evaluation plan, which really just looks at a general overview of evaluation. It's not anything really in-depth and detailed, but it is kind of a cursory surface view of if you were going to evaluate whether or not your learning was any good, how would you do that? And then there are two real major assignments for the class. All of these up here are 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, and they are designed to be kind of low stakes here. You know, if you don't get all 5 points, that's not a big deal, or all 5 percentage points, that's not a big deal. If you get 4 or 3, it's not going to be a big deal. So what we're going to be doing is using all of these Lego blocks to build up to something called a 4-hour training module. And the 4-hour training module is something that you're going to generate throughout the semester. So the lesson that you're actually going to be doing will be based on all components of the needs analysis and include a lesson plan with job aids and all of that. Here are the guidelines. The purpose of the training module is to you have to propose the training module idea to me by September 15th, 2014 and gain approval. The proposal of the topical idea needs to be general. It can be customer service, learning, leadership, supply chain, whatever, and should identify a possible location. And then based on, I'm going to skip down here, based on the culmination of the semester's work, you will need to develop and provide the components of a 4-hour training module that could be provided to an organization for implementation. Now, don't miss this. It should be so well designed that you could actually execute it in a real live organization someplace. Many of you are going to be working. Many of you may be using this project at your workplace, but it needs to be in sufficient enough detail and really well executed in a way that you could present it if you wanted to. The training module should meet the training gap that your needs analysis uncovered, be appropriate for the identified audience based on your learner context, and know that this is only the module, right, which is included from but separate from the hat, which we'll talk about in a moment. Here's what you have to include. The items that must be included in this training module are a complete PowerPoint deck, complete participants manual, and at least one job aid. Some folks will go on to develop an instructor's guide or case studies, activities, and games, things that you might actually include in that module. Now, based on all of the assignments that we have, including the training module, right? Now we're getting to kind of the final product of our Legos, of our building blocks here. We're going to take all of the assignments for the class, the needs analysis, the learner analysis, the context analysis, the task analysis, so on and so on and so on, and the training module, and put all of those into something we call a course packet. And the course package will end up being between 15, 20 pages. It could be longer, but it's designed to be a comprehensive plan. So if you were going to give some recommendation to your boss at work around learning or building some kind of a learning module, you would have everything you need to present, including the completed module. So there's the course rationale and analysis, instructional objectives, evaluation plan, and the lesson module. Let's skip down a little bit and take a look at page 9 of the syllabus. Page 9 gives you step-by-step complete instructions about how to complete the Hallmark assessment task for this class. So if you look down here, we've already kind of talked about this top information. If I was going to be doing this hat, I would follow this kind of an outline. So a needs analysis will already be something that you have done. A learner analysis, already something you've done. A context analysis, something that you've already done. And a task analysis. These are things that, if you remember, they were all mini assignments up above in the earlier part of the syllabus. You're just going to combine them together, right? And develop a hat based on all of the mini assignments that we've done. The instructional objectives, the evaluation plan, and then the module. Again, all of this comes together in one document. If you were interested in how this class is going to be graded, specifically for the training module, this is the rubric for that. And we also have a rubric for the hat. So you know exactly what key points you need to hit as you develop the module and the hat. Moving on down, we have our calendar. And notice in the calendar that week 1, I have the start date of that week, so you know exactly what week we're referring to, the content that we're going to be covering, and then the chapter that you're going to want to read for that week. Note that all of the assignments are over here on the right-hand side. you want to take a look at those and make sure that you are comfortable with the timeline. Note that we have fall break the week of October the 6th, and that Thanksgiving break falls in here, and our last real week of class is going to be around December 1st or December 8th. So this class, that seems really far away, but trust me, it's going to move really quickly. We have, starting on September the 29th, about a month from this week, we begin to have some of our first assignments due, and then they are really humming after that date. So you want to make note of the times, make sure that you have a plan of action for this, and that you're comfortable with the assignment and the hat and any questions that you might have. I'm just scrolling back up here to the hat. Remember to take a look at page 9 of the syllabus to make sure that you are clear about the expectations and the assignment instructions, and that you refer back to the syllabus in terms of what exactly needs to be in each of the assignments, each of the mini assignments for our class, and that starts on page 4. All right, so we've covered the basics of the syllabus, right? And I did that pretty quickly because I want you to be able to go into the syllabus and read that syllabus for yourself. It's a really important thing that you download it, you take a look at it, and you're comfortable with it. There are really two main mistakes that people may make, or hurdles that they may run into when they take this particular class. The first is not looking at the syllabus when they're doing their assignments. We've tried to be explicit in outlining exactly what should be in each assignment, like outlining exactly what should be in the hat, outlining exactly what should be in the training module. And some folks just don't look at that, but they'll turn some things in and they'll give it a shot. What I would encourage you to do is before you submit each assignment that you take a look at that syllabus and you make sure that you hit each of the key points for the assignment that you're submitting something in. And the second thing that I think people really struggle with sometimes with this class is noting that each assignment builds, right? So the needs analysis is something that's going to be the very first assignment. Well, you're going to get feedback on that. If you get feedback on that, I would modify my assignment and then keep it because you're going to use it again for the training plan. Remember, all of this is going to be put together. The training plan, the hat for this class, is really a combination of all of the assignments that you've done for this class. There's nothing new that you're going to need to create for the hat, except you just have to put it all together. If you have any questions about anything, please reach out to me. Let me know. Be happy to talk to any of you and answer anything that I can. It is a pleasure to be spending this semester with you in designing learning. I cannot wait to see what comes and what this semester is all about. Be well, take care. Remember to reach out if you have any questions. Let me know how I can help you be successful. Until next time.